Hey, welcome back to the shop. This is Zach over at NV Woodworks. Today I'm going to be doing some more experimenting with casting, this time with shavings. So Mark sent me a bag of Burmese Blackwood wood shavings, and then I got bags of the Alumilite stuff. I don't keep all of it, obviously, but I got tons. So we're going to try casting this, see what happens. I don't know. I have tried the Alumilite Shavings before, but I put it in Alumalite white and with no dye in it, and it really turned out kind of just boring. So I'm going to try clear with this stuff this time, and then with the Blackwood, I'm going to try clear and just no dye at all. And then I'm going to do something with color. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to use the clear base and dye it slightly. That way you'll still be able to kind of get that translucence and see inside and see the shavings is what I'm hoping. So we'll give that a try. I also, Mark sent me a bag of brass shavings from like key cutting, and I'm just not certain what to do with this yet. So I think I'm going to save this until I have like a really good idea of what to do, because I don't, it's going to take a lot, you know, to fill something, so I don't want to use it all. I'm going to put that on the shelf for now, but I'll get back to that when I have a really good idea. I just don't want to waste it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, mix. I'll probably shoot and speed up the film, mix this stuff up, and you can kind of see the process. And then I'll come back when I get the things done, and we'll see what the results are. Alright, so I got the castings out of the molds. What I decided to do was I just used the Burmese Blackwood and put clear in this one, and it looks a little bit brown, but it's just because the clear's pulling out the brown of the Burmese Blackwood. The other one, I decided to use a clear base, and I put in some red mica powder. It's kind of interesting, but I didn't put a lot of powder in, so it's still pretty translucent. And then these were the other two. This was just a multicolored, that Alumilite Shavings stuff that I had a bag of. And I also had a bag of blue, and I tossed in just a little bit of purple with this one. And these are just shavings from turning. So we're going to see how these things turn out. Already they, you know, compared to the last time when I just dumped some shavings into Alumilite white, it was not very, it didn't, I knew off the bat it wasn't going to look very good. I'm a little bit more hopeful with these, so I'm going to cut these things up and then get them on the lathe, see what they look like turned. So the Burmese Blackwood, it turned out pretty cool. If the tube wasn't ugly, it just leaves really interesting shapes in there. There's not a lot of it in the blanks that I turned, and it's just, I think that would be impressive if you painted the tubes correctly. Now, this dyed acrylic one, it's not very impressive because you can't really see much. The dye is kind of taking over, and it just looks like there's some squiggles in there. But I think that with the right coloring behind this on the clear, I think it would be pretty cool. As far as the Alumilite Shavings, these ones are pretty cool. It's interesting colors. Again, there's, you know, I can see tube and stuff, and I think if that wasn't there, these would be really awesome. Especially the light colored one. It's it's an interesting kind of mixture. So I need to work on my reverse painting technique, or at least find a different paint that actually works. I don't really think my technique is bad. I think it's just my paint sucks. So aside from that, you get a lot of air pockets with this kind of dumping things in there. There's tons of little air pockets. So, you know, maybe you could use vacuum. I don't know. I just did a video on this, the whole vacuum idea. Problem is I can't really use vacuum with Alumalite, and I frankly don't like using PR, polyester resin. So maybe epoxy might work a little bit better for this kind of thing, and then throw it in a vacuum chamber maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a tough issue that I have. You get these little pinholes and they're just kind of hard to fill, and frankly I just didn't want to sit here and fill them since I'm not really making these into pens. I was just kind of testing. So, you know, once again, if you did the work to fill the holes or at least get all the air out somehow, I think that these would be a really cool blank. So I'll get some close-up shots. It's hard for me to, you know, one person trying to get these close-up shots, so I'm just probably going to do another slideshow at the end, getting some good shots of these things and the blanks and all that stuff. And anyway, kind of disappointing. One thing that I have is if anybody's got a good suggestion on different types of paint to use for the reverse painting, just any suggestion or methods, techniques, that's something that I obviously am not good at. So I'll definitely take any suggestions from anyone out there. Like I said, if you're going to do black, this stuff does work. This Model Master Acrylic, it's got a number on it, 4695. It's gloss black. Made by Testers. That stuff works for black, but it really blackens the entire blank. So you got to have something that shows up that you're casting on the outside. So anyway, aside from that, if you have any questions or comments, let me know what you think about these blanks. I'm not super impressed again. I think I'm going to have to try something a little bit cooler. I do have some Fruit Loops, so I think I'm going to try those. But I like just kind of playing with this stuff. You know, it may take you 100 tests to find something that's really cool, but you know, it's interesting to understand what, you know, throwing something like this in a pot or in a mold. What are you going to get? That's kind of what I'm doing with these videos, is just trying to get an understanding of what to expect with different materials, and I hope that these videos help you out too if you decide, well, what would this look like, you know, rather than wasting the resin. If it's something that doesn't really look that good, maybe you don't want to waste the resin. Or maybe you want to try it and try and see if you can, you know, add color. That's one of the other things about casting, is you add, you know, green instead of black to the inside of the tube, and then throw, you know, Cap and Crunch, or you throw, you know, wood shavings in the pot. It could change things. Now, I think I'm going to do another round with colored resin, especially with the Blackwood. I think that would actually be pretty cool. I might give the Alumalite a try and just not use white, or do something a little bit different. Try something else. So I might do those things, and if I do that, I'll probably just post those on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, rather than shoot an entire video. If it's really cool, I'll definitely, you know, redo the video and share that. If it's not very impressive, ain't gonna be a video out. But other than that, like I said, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below on YouTube. You can email me at zach@nvwoodworks.com. And like I said, I'm on Facebook and Twitter, so you can find me there. Yeah, but thanks for watching the video. I hope this was a little bit helpful. It gives you some kind of an idea of what to expect if you want to throw some kind of shavings or something like that in a mold and cast some resin around it, at least clear. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.